They say pregnancy makes you glow. But mine lit a fire I couldn't put out. It was exactly 12:13 a.m. when I heard the front door click open. Again. For the third night in a row, Jerry, my husband, vanished into thin air. No footsteps. No goodbye. Just the whisper of the door and the faint scent of sandalwood trailing behind him like a ghost. I was 6 months pregnant and barely sleeping. My back ached, my feet were swollen, and worst of all, my mind was on fire. I didn't want to believe it at first, but something was horribly, deeply wrong. I remember the first time my friend, Ada, warned me. She had gripped my hands after one of her all-night prayer sessions and whispered, "Claire, something about your husband's spirit is dark." I saw blood. I saw chains. I laughed it off. I thought she was being dramatic. I even told her to stop watching too many Nollywood films. That was my mistake. The second I got pregnant, everything changed. Jerry started acting strange. Colder. Quieter. He stopped touching me, stopped eating my food. He stared at me like he was watching time count down. At first, I thought he was overwhelmed by the idea of being a father. But no. This was different. This was fear wearing the face of love. That night, I decided I had had enough. I pulled myself out of bed, carefully balancing my round belly, and tiptoed to the door. I didn't switch on the lights. I didn't even breathe loudly. I stood at the top of the staircase, watching through the crack in the banister. And then, I froze. 12 men, yes, 12, sat in our living room. Dressed in red and black robes. The air reeked of burnt herbs, raw meat, and something metallic, blood, maybe. One of them, a man with skin as dark as midnight and eyes that glowed like embers, raised his head and said, "Someone is watching." I nearly fainted. Jerry stood up immediately, shaking his head. "No one is awake," he said. "She's pregnant. She sleeps like a log." I heard breathing, the man replied, voice like sandpaper. "I'll go check," Jerry said. My heart slammed against my chest. I ran back into the bedroom like a hunted animal, leapt into bed, turned to the side, and shut my eyes. I slowed my breathing and forced my chest to rise and fall like I was in deep sleep. I felt the door creak open. His footsteps, those quiet, padded steps, came close. I could feel his presence beside the bed. Watching me. He stayed there for too long. I nearly cried when he finally left. Since that night, I've lived in a cage made of silence. I can't scream. I can't leave. I can't even hint that I know. Jerry started locking all the doors at night. He takes my phone before bed. He reads every message. Smiles like everything is fine. Pretends like he's still my husband. But I see it in his eyes. He's waiting for something. They are waiting for something. And then, yesterday, I found the book. It was hidden beneath the floorboard in his study, a thick, leather-bound journal with ancient symbols and a title I couldn't pronounce. I flipped through it and there it was, clear as day. For the child of blood to open the gates, she must die with the sun. The child of blood. That's my baby. That's me. I'm no longer just pregnant. I'm a sacrifice. Now I'm writing this. Not because I think anyone will find it. But because I need to remind myself that I'm not crazy. That I didn't imagine the red robes, the chants, the fire in their eyes. That my husband, the man I loved, is not who he pretended to be. I don't know how much longer I have. But if I disappear, or worse, know that Jerry did it. They all did. And my baby deserves to live. I don't remember the last time I felt safe in this house. By day, everything seems normal. Jerry smiles, makes breakfast, kisses my forehead. He even rubs my belly and says things like, "Can't wait to meet our little princess." It almost makes me forget that every night, he slips away like smoke into the darkness, to serve something I don't understand. But I'm not fooled anymore. I'm trapped in a house with a man who's waiting to kill me. And the worst part? I can't run. Not yet. You see, Jerry isn't just a ritualist. He's smart, scary smart. Ever since I saw those 12 men in our living room, he's been watching me more closely. He pretends like he's just being protective, but I know better. He's checking for cracks. Watching to see if I slip. Testing me every single day. This morning, I made the mistake of asking him, "When's the last time you slept well? You look tired." His smile didn't touch his eyes. "You dream anything last night?" My blood ran cold. I laughed it off and said, "Just the usual pregnancy nonsense. Something about a goat chasing me with a suitcase." He stared at me for a long second. Then, slowly, his smile returned. "You always had the weirdest dreams, Claire." That was his way of warning me. That if I say one wrong thing, I'm gone. I wanted to tell Ada everything. My friend. My sister in Christ. The only one who ever saw through Jerry's charm. But I haven't seen her in weeks. Jerry said she stopped by once when I was sleeping, and he told her I needed rest. That I didn't want visitors. He lied. I tried texting her last week when he went out in the afternoon, but later that night, he walked in, dropped my phone on the table, and said, "Next time you want to chat with someone, tell me first. I might have something to say too." I nodded. Said nothing. And I cried myself to sleep that night, whispering prayers into my pillow like they were secrets even God needed to keep quiet. But today, something happened. Something that shook me. Around 11 a.m., Jerry left to buy special herbs for my back pain. Said it would help me sleep better. I waited 5 minutes after he drove off, grabbed the book from his study, and flipped to the page I found earlier. There, scrawled beneath the same line I saw before, "For the child of blood to open the gates, she must die with the sun," was a diagram. It showed a woman tied to a stone slab, her belly round, like mine. A group of hooded men surrounded her, holding staffs made of bone. And at the center, a man wearing a mask, shaped exactly like the one I saw in my dream. A mask Jerry once brought back from a business trip to Calabar. I remember teasing him about how creepy it looked. He said it was just art. He lied again. I snapped a photo of the page with my phone, then quickly deleted it. I transferred it to a hidden USB drive I'd kept from my uni days and buried it inside one of my old wigs. I don't know what I plan to do with it yet. Maybe give it to Ada, if I can ever find her. Maybe run with it, if I get the chance. But I had to do something. Anything. Because I can't sleep anymore. I don't eat much. The baby kicks a lot at night, maybe she feels the evil too. Maybe she's trying to warn me. Last night, around 2 a.m., I heard chanting again. Not loud. Just low humming. Like wind through the walls. I pressed my ear to the floor and realized it was coming from beneath the house. I didn't even know we had a basement. What kind of house has a secret basement? When Jerry returned, I asked him, "Have you ever thought of finishing the basement? Could be a good nursery space." His face twitched. Just slightly. Then he laughed. "There is no basement, Claire." Liar. I know what I heard. And one night, I'll find the entrance. I just need time. Time and strength. But both are running out. Because today, after lunch, Jerry sat beside me on the couch, held my hand and said, "Only 3 weeks to go, sweetheart. Just hang in there. It'll all be over soon." Over. He smiled when he said it. So tender. So calm. Like a moon waiting for a birthday party. But in his eyes, I saw it again, that flicker of darkness. He doesn't plan to be a father. He plans to be reborn. And I think they believe my child is the key. I don't know what kind of ritual they want to perform. But I swear on everything I have left, they are going to kill me and take my baby. Unless I disappear first. You ever feel your soul trying to crawl out of your body? That's what I felt last night, standing in the hallway at 3:17 a.m., barefoot, belly heavy, heart pounding like a war drum. I knew it was a stupid idea. I knew I was pushing my luck. But I had to know. I had to find the basement. Jerry was out again. He didn't say where. He never does anymore. He just kissed me on the forehead, whispered, "Sleep well, my queen," and vanished like fog. No car sounds. No doors slamming. Just gone. I waited until I was sure he wouldn't double back. Then I moved. The house was too quiet. The type of quiet that screams. I held my phone like a torch, light dimmed low, feet padding across the cold tiles. I started in the kitchen, tried tapping the walls, moving chairs, crouching down to look for loose panels even though my back screamed in pain. Nothing. Then the storage room. Boxes. Paint cans. Broken fan blades. I moved things around carefully, silently. And then, I saw it. Behind the tall stack of Jerry's old briefcases, there was a crack between the wall and the shelf. A sliver. Just enough to notice a seam where the wall didn't fully connect. I pulled everything out, heart racing with every creak. Then I found it, a tiny metal handle almost hidden under the baseboard. My hands trembled. I pulled. The door didn't budge. It was locked. I pushed harder, hoping maybe it was just stuck, but no. Solid as a vault. I felt around the frame and found a set of symbols etched into the wood. I recognized them. Same ones from the book. Same ones on the robe Jerry thought I never saw. I took a photo. My hands were sweaty, the flash almost betrayed me, but I got it. And then, I heard it. Footsteps. Not from the front door. From underneath me. I froze. Pressed myself against the wall, trying to shrink my pregnant body into nothingness. The footsteps were heavy, slow, deliberate. Like someone pacing beneath the floorboards. Then a voice. Whispered, gravelly, "Soon. The vessel ripens." I nearly screamed. I backed away. Quietly. Carefully. One step at a time. Got to the bedroom, shut the door softly, climbed into bed, and lay there, pretending. Again. Always pretending. An hour later, Jerry came back. He was breathing heavily. I smelled the same scent again, burnt herbs and something darker. He didn't speak. Just crawled into bed beside me, placed a hand on my belly, and whispered, "She's almost ready." She. He always says she now. Never the baby. Never our daughter. Just she. Like she belongs to them. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. This morning, I finally cracked. I went to the bathroom, locked the door, and texted Ada from my hidden burner phone. The one I stashed inside a packet of Always pads in the wardrobe. "Please. I'm in danger. Come to the back gate at midnight. Don't call. Don't knock. Just wait. I'll find a way out. I didn't get a reply. I don't know if she got it. I don't even know if she's alive. But it's the only move I have left. Because today I found something worse. Jerry left his laptop open while he was in the shower. I wasn't even planning to check it. I was too scared. But curiosity is a sick kind of courage. I opened a folder titled The Gate. Inside were pictures. Ultrasound scans. Not just mine, others. Women I'd never seen. Dates. Names. Notes about purity levels and sacrificial viability. One folder was named Chioma, failed. Another, Tolu, incomplete. Then I saw it, Claire, optimal. Due, June 30th. And below that, a document titled Blood Harvest Ceremony Instructions. I couldn't breathe. My knees buckled. I closed it all before he came out. I smiled when he walked in. He kissed me on the lips and said, "You've been so strong, baby. Almost time now." I nodded. I even kissed him back. But deep inside, I was already planning. Tonight, I run. If I don't, I won't make it to my due date. I don't know if I'll survive this. I don't know if Ada will come. I don't even know what's waiting for me outside this house. But I know what's waiting inside. Death. The clock hit 11:57 p.m. and my hands wouldn't stop shaking. Every breath felt like it was caught halfway in my throat, and my heart? God, my heart sounded like it was trying to rip through my chest. I had waited for this moment for weeks, planned every detail in my mind, timed every step. And now that it was finally here, I was one wrong move away from becoming just another name in Jerry's failed folder. Ada hadn't responded to my message, but I had to believe she would come. I had to believe someone still cared whether I lived or died. I wore a hoodie over my nightgown, stuffed a pillow under the sheets to make it look like I was sleeping, and slipped my feet into the softest slippers I could find. No noise, no trace. I tucked the USB drive and burner phone inside my bra. Then I opened the window of the guest bathroom, the one with the faulty lock Jerry had been meaning to fix. The cold air slapped me in the face. But I didn't care. I was ready to jump. Just then, I heard a floorboard creak. Footsteps. Coming upstairs. I panicked and slipped back inside the bathroom, locking the door as quietly as I could. My breath hitched. I crouched by the bathtub and held still. Jerry's voice called out, soft and deliberate. "Claire, are you awake?" I didn't answer. He stood outside the door for what felt like hours. Then he whispered, "You know, I've always admired your strength. But don't be foolish now. You're part of something bigger. Something beautiful." I clenched my teeth to keep from sobbing. And then, he walked away. I waited 5 more minutes. 10. Then I squeezed through the window, dragging my belly behind me like dead weight. My feet hit the grass outside and I bolted, limped like hell, toward the back gate. Ada was there. Standing in the shadows like an angel in human skin, wearing a hoodie and clutching a Bible so tight her knuckles were white. When she saw me, she gasped and ran to catch me before I fell. "Claire, Jesus. You look like death." "I'm not dead yet," I whispered. "But we need to go. Now." We ran, or at least moved fast enough, down the dirt path that led away from the compound. I had memorized the blind spots of Jerry's security cameras. It was now or never. Then we heard it. The whistle. That damn ritual whistle. 3 short bursts, high-pitched and ancient-sounding. It echoed across the night like a warning from the underworld. Ada froze. They know. No, I said, he knows. A light came on in the house behind us. Then another. Then chanting. Not loud, but terrifying. We kept moving, slipping through the thickets, past the old palm grove where the trees creaked like old bones. My feet bled. My back screamed. But I didn't stop. Not even when I thought I heard Jerry call out my name in that eerie sing-song voice. Claire, come home. She's not safe out there. I didn't look back. Ada helped me into her cousin's parked car at the next junction. A beat-up Toyota Corolla, engine already running. The cousin, Ben, barely said a word. Just pressed the pedal and drove like the devil himself was behind us. I don't remember much of the ride. My body was in shock, my mind shutting down. But I clutched Ada's hand like a lifeline, and she kept whispering prayers in my ear. Over and over again. It wasn't until we got to her house, about 2 towns away, that I let myself breathe. She helped me into bed, brought me water, and placed anointing oil on my forehead. I told you, she said, I told you Jerry was not a man of God. I know, I whispered. I just didn't think he was this evil. Then she showed me something that made my skin crawl. She pulled out her phone and opened her deleted messages folder. He hacked my number, she said. I never saw your text. But God told me to go to the gate tonight. I just knew. Tears rolled down my cheeks. I wanted to sob, to scream, but I was too tired. I held my belly instead, whispering to my daughter, "We're safe now, we're safe." But that was a lie. Because 20 minutes later, the power went out. And Ada's front door, locked with 2 bolts and a security chain, swung open. The candles flickered. The air turned ice cold. And there, standing in the shadows of the hallway, was Jerry. Smiling. Holding something in his hand. A blade. I couldn't move. My body froze as if the fear had crawled into my bones and locked them in place. Jerry stood in the doorway of Ada's house like death himself, calm, composed, holding a curved blade with red stains already dried into its edges. Not fresh, but not old either. Ada stepped in front of me, arms outstretched like a shield. "You have no power here, Jerry. I rebuke you in the name of..." Jerry raised his hand, and to my horror, Ada staggered backward as if struck by something invisible. She fell to her knees, gasping. "Ada!" I cried, crawling toward her. He didn't even blink. "You think I came here for a fight?" he said, his voice as smooth and cold as ice. "No. I came for what's mine." His eyes dropped to my belly. I backed away until my spine hit the wall. "She's not yours." He stepped closer, the knife gleaming. "She isn't yours either, Claire. You were just the vessel. We chose you. You were perfect, young, fertile, and stupid enough to ignore the warnings." I wanted to scream, to fight, to run, but all I could do was tremble. "You killed them," I whispered. "Tioma. Tolu. The others. Your wives." He grinned. "They broke the circle. You didn't. You stayed loyal." "Because I was scared." He shrugged. "Fear is a form of loyalty." I looked at Ada. She was trying to rise, blood dripping from her nose, lips moving in silent prayer. Something stirred in me. Something deeper than fear, rage. "You're a coward," I said suddenly. My voice cracked, but I meant every word. "You hide behind robes and shadows because you're nothing without them. That's why you need the child. To matter." His smile faltered. For a second. And in that second, I moved. I grabbed the glass lamp from Ada's table and hurled it at him with everything I had. It shattered against his face, and he screamed, not from pain, but fury. Ada shouted, "Now, Claire. Run." I bolted out the back door, barefoot, belly heavy, the world spinning around me. Jerry charged behind me, roaring like an animal. But Ada, God bless her soul, leapt on him from behind. I didn't look back. I couldn't. If I did, I'd never stop running. I don't remember how far I ran. The street was a blur of shadows and fear. I waved down a passing Kiki like a madwoman, climbed in, and screamed, "Drive. Please, just drive." I didn't stop shaking until we reached the nearest police station. I told them everything. The cult. The books. The ritual. I even handed them the USB drive. They didn't believe me. Until 2 officers went to Ada's house. They found it ransacked. Bloody robes in the bush. Symbols drawn on the walls. But no Jerry. No Ada. Only the blade, his blade, stuck upright in the middle of the floor, and a message scrawled beneath it in what looked like blood. The vessel broke. But the door is still open. They filed a report. Took my statement. And then they told me to disappear for my own safety. So I did. I'm somewhere far now. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere Jerry can't find us. I gave birth 2 weeks later to a beautiful baby girl. I named her Hope. She's perfect. She cries loud, sleeps light, and watches everything like she already knows the world isn't safe. But she's here. Alive. Free. Sometimes at night, I still hear the chants. Sometimes I wake up gasping, thinking I see him at the door. But he's not there. Not yet. And if he ever comes back, this time, I won't run. This time, I'll fight. Because no demon, no cult, no darkness will ever take my child again. I am not a vessel. I am her mother. And I will burn the whole world to keep her safe.